Hi there, crafty friends. This is Irene with Artemis Made, and I'm so glad you stopped by to have some fun with me today. First order of business, I have to tell you, I apologize for my voice. I'm going through an extended illness, and I still sound like a bit of a pony, a little hoarse. So forgive me for that, but I will be keeping it under control as best I can. So here we are seeing the supplies that I'm using today, or at least most of them. I didn't end up using dragon fruit, but I did use the other colors. So I went with the Concord 9th Type Talk stamp set and dies. I used the flowers, I used the typewriter, I used some of the sentiments, and basically I'm making my card here for Craft Roulette, and I really got excited about this. And you could see I also decided to use some of the coordinating colored cardstock. Now here, I wasn't sure exactly which sentiment I wanted to use, so I took out my little Misty and I started to stamp up 3 of them just to see which one I thought would look best. So a little tip, clean around it whenever your dye ink is on your platform because it can get on your paper if you're not very careful. So here I am using the coordinating colored cardstock. I'm matching up the size of the stamps I want to use, and I'm just cutting out the right amount of paper. So I'm going to do that with the typewriter and with the floral embellishment, and I'm going to use my Tailored Expression anti-static tool here just to make sure that there is not going to be any embossing powder stuck where I don't want it. So here I'm putting on my white powder, which I thought was going to be a really nice color against the colored cardstock. So I'm not actually inking up these stamps necessarily with color. I am embossing onto colored cardstock with white embossing ink, or I'm sorry, embossing powder. So you're going to see here that I am basically dusting off all the excess, tap it on off there, and then I heat it up with my heat tool. So you can see that white coming alive there, and doesn't it just pop beautifully against that colored cardstock? Absolutely love it. So first, before I get to dyeing, I'm going to use my little buddy here, and he's going to help me get my mint tape stuck down so that my dies are secured exactly where I want them on the cardstock. Then I'm going to run that off screen through my die cutting machine. And there you can see I cut all my pieces out, and now I'm going to play around and see how do I want them to look. Now I will tell you, if you bear with me, you will see where I messed up at least 2 times, possibly 3. But that's part of the process, right? We have to mess it up so we can do it right the next time, or the time after that, or maybe the time after that. So here I decided I was going to use the Nectar cardstock color for kind of like the backdrop of my my little scene here that I'm building. And the idea is that the column of text that congratulations is going to slip up through the typewriter, and it's going to be held in place by that little floral arrangement. So it's going to be an interactive pull card. So I put my little tab where I thought it was going to work. I thought it was going to be great. I got excited. I said, okay, I'm going to die cut that through. First, let me get my note card ready. So I have a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch note card top fold here. And then I started playing with it. So I slid my little paper through, said it's perfect. All right, here we go. Let's put the typewriter on it, make sure it all works. And then I realized, how does it go through the typewriter? Oh yeah, I probably need to cut a hole in the typewriter too, huh? So here we go. Here's my first attempt. So I realized there that I did actually put it in the right spot. But then I realized that if I pulled down the sentiment, I had the slit so low that it was going to pop right out the bottom of the card. So there was round 2, second slit. All right, so here we go. Watch this. It gets even better. So I put my little floral arrangement on the top. I thought, okay, this is great. It looks so pretty. Let me hold it down. And then wait a minute. How am I supposed to get the typewriter on there? So this is the 3rd attempt at me trying to get this right. It was a mess. But you know what? You have to play with it. You have to learn what you're doing, and then you get it right, and it feels so good. So it's all part of the process. Mistakes are part of it. We just got to laugh, shake it off, and go on. So here you see I actually fixed it. It looks good. We're good to move on. So now I'm going to use my Simon Hurley Creates pull apart stamp set here to try to figure out how I can add columns into this to meet the Craft Roulette parameters. So I was thinking, oh, what if I did horizontal columns? Well, folks, I'm Greek, and I talked to the ancestors, and they just said, absolutely not. Your columns have to be vertical. So unfortunately, my stripes are not going to count as my column, but I'm still really happy with this. Now, here's a little trick I did. I put all 3 in a row, closed my Misty lid, and then took out the center one so that I could color each of those 2 different colors. And then after I finished coloring those, or stamping those up, I took off the other 2 after placing the middle one and colored that one up. So now those are exactly where they're supposed to be, just as if I had stamped them as one complete image. So my background is done now, and I really like pulling in those colors that are part of the cardstock because it's all the same color palette, all from the beautiful vibrant colors of Concord and Ninth. So here you can see I'm adding some dimension. I'm popping up my typewriter layer just to make sure everything can slide smoothly and not get hung up on anything. I add a little bit of liquid glue for, float time to make sure that I've got some wiggle room here in case I didn't like where it landed the first time, which, considering I've now done this how many times, apparently I really needed that float time. So now I decided I need a little tab that says pull here, just to indicate to the recipient that they should pull the tab up to get the message. So I just had a little piece of scrap Nina Solar White cardstock there, and I start to do it a few times because I never really get the right stamp with a stamping block on the first try. So I do it a few times till I like it. And then I am just going to cut it down to a simple rectangular shape. And then you see I cut it a few times, make sure I liked it. And here I was placing it, like, do I like it on the side, on the middle? Where do I want it? So I liked it in the middle. I decided to kind of just cut a little swoopy pull tab there. And then I glued it down with my liquid glue. So I centered it up, I flipped it over, looked at it again, make sure I'm liking everything, and it was looking good. And the little pull tab works beautifully. So the last finishing touch I'm going to do here is my little water bead embellishments. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I don't know what it is about embellishments. They drive me nuts. I have the hardest time deciding what I like. So I went round and round with this one. I cut out quite a lot of it, but what I realized is I actually didn't want to use the tiniest water beads on this one. I wanted the bigger ones. So that way the colors of the cardstock were popping right through those clear beads. So I just really liked it that way. Now what you just saw me do was stamp my craft roulette stamp on the back of this card, and here is the finished project. I absolutely love how this turned out. I thought it was so pretty. So now here are the parameters from this past week's craft roulette. So we are doing a card with a pocket, fresh and clean colors, rhymes with ool, and a random is the column. So we're gonna have to check and see how did I do. And please do yourself a favor, check out craft roulette. It's the best. So here we have the pocket. I'm sliding out my little message. That's my pocket. The colors are citrusy, like honeydew, and beautiful colors like that, citrus colors. Here is the spool of ink that is in the typewriter. So there's my rhymes with ool. And then the column is the text that is in a column format. I tried to get by, but like I said, the ancestors were not okay with horizontal columns. So we did the vertical column message. And here it is. What do you think? Did I make it this week? Did I meet the parameters? There's a cute little stamp. Do get yourself a craft roulette stamp set. Totally worth it. Super cute. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had fun. I hope the colors make you as happy as they made me. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, if there's something here that made you smile, if you think somebody else might enjoy it, I would just absolutely love it if you could give me a thumbs up, maybe consider subscribing. All of that helps me notify YouTube that people are interested in this and might have fun with it as well. So thank you again so much. I hope you have the best day. I hope you grab some paper and craft something that really makes you smile. Take care. Thanks again. Bye.